Hello, my friends. Welcome to our yoga class for our full moon in Cancer. This is the last full moon of 2023. This is going to be a full yoga class centered around this full moon in Cancer. I am a trauma informed, accessible, plus size yoga teacher, so I will offer variations for all. If you're new here, welcome. If you're old here, welcome back. We're going to get right on into it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this full moon in Cancer that's coming up on December 26th, and then we're going to get into our flow. Now, a few things. If I sound terrible, it's because I've had COVID for like 2 weeks now. I'm still not 100%. I'm kind of losing my voice. I have my mic on, so hopefully that helps, but I do apologize if I sound just terrible throughout this class. I missed the new moon in Sagittarius yoga and tarot because I was so sick. This is my first time having COVID, so it's just not been fun. That being said, hopefully I don't sound too bad. What else? What else did I want to say? That's pretty much it. Oh, also, this is going to be a very restorative, slow flow kind of class. I want you to be comfy. I want you to be cozy. I'm literally in my pajamas. I got my scary movie night sweatpants on. I want you to be comfy and cozy. That is the nature of Cancer, is that nurturing, comfy, cozy vibes. So why not embody that? Yeah, have any props you need for your practice? Set yourself up for success. I have my blocks here. We're going to be using those a bit. If you want a pillow, if you want a block, if you want a bolster, anything that you need for your practice, just have it nearby. A couple of things I wanted to say before we get started. I am hosting a 30-day witchcraft and wellness challenge starting on January 1st. If one of your goals for January for 2024 is to tap into your power, your witchcraft, your wellness, do yoga, do spell work, do tarot, do meditation, journaling, all those things, come join me. It is a membership only challenge, so it's going to be only for my members. I will post the first class for the public, but it's only $9.99 a month for my membership here on YouTube. All you have to do is hit the join button. You get access to that challenge. You get access to previous challenges. You get access to live yoga, live tarot, live new moon and full moon workshops, which I think is a pretty good deal. And if you want to support my channel and my business, that's a great way to do it. And if you want to just join a really awesome online covenant community and a challenge to set yourself up for success in 2024, come join me. Besides that, I am also opening registration for my business coaching and my social media coaching program called Nourish Your Business. If you've wanted to learn to do what I do, own your own business, grow on social media, have an online business, all of those things, that is now open for registration. So if that's your goal in 2024, go ahead and apply. It's a really awesome program, a really great coven, again, of people that are on the same journey as you, other business owners, and people just learning to do what they love on social media. So all that being said, let's talk about this full moon in Cancer. Again, it's coming up on December 26th. We also are currently in a Mercury retrograde that has been in Capricorn. It's going to shift into Sagittarius, and it ends January 1st. That does not include any shadow periods. Cancer is ruled by the moon. We know that full moons are about releasing. Cancer is kind of gets like the bad rep for being emotional, and I think people forget that there's different emotions than just like crying. I feel like the kind of stigma against Cancer is like, oh, they're so emotional and they just cry all the time. I'm like, you guys know that there's like other emotions that you can feel besides sadness, right? Like happiness, anger, frustration, all kinds of different things. So yes, you might be emotional during this full moon, but it might not just be crying. I recommend maybe going and looking on an emotions wheel and kind of identifying what you're feeling, because we have to feel to heal. I get asked a lot of the time, like, well, I do releasing yoga and I really, know full moons are about releasing. How do I release? If you haven't processed through and felt the things that you need to feel, you're not going to be able to release them. You have to feel to heal. You have to feel to let go. And this full moon is the last full moon of 2023, and you should be using it to let go of anything you do not want to take into the new year with you. Now, fun fact, we started 2023 with a full moon in Cancer. We are now ending 2023 with a full moon in Cancer. The card of the year for 2023 is the Chariot, which is the card of Cancer. So the Cancer energy has been heavy this year. You might have noticed really heavy emotional release, emotional processing this year. The Chariot vibes is rapid forward movement, traveling, maybe actually moving from place to place. If you're not ready for that really rapid forward movement, it could kind of feel like pulling teeth. So, the Chariot energy has been a little weird this year. Next year, the card of the year is a Strength card, the card of Leo, which I'm kind of excited for. Let me check my notes. What else? What else? Yeah, it's, Cancer is the mother, the nurturer of the zodiac, and we should really be focused on nurturing ourselves, under this full moon, releasing what we need to release, feeling what we need to feel. We're going to focus on the heart and the sacral chakras today because Cancer in the body rules our nurturing organs. So, chest, breast, womb, lower stomach, all those things. That's what Cancer rules in the body. Cancer is a water sign. The sacral chakra is that chakra of water. So we're going to focus on the heart and the hips releasing today. It's going to be a slow flow. It's going to be a slow class. So take your time. Everything I say is an option, not an order. I know I've been ranting at you for a while now. I just had a lot to say. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We are going to get started in a supported fish pose. I know Cancer is the crab, but we're going to get started in fish pose because this is going to open our heart. So you will need your blocks for this. If you don't have blocks, you can use books that are this shape and size. You know, the Akatar books are literally the perfect size. Or you can use a bolster or you can use a pillow. So we're going to put one block right in the center of our mat. It's going to go right in between our shoulder blades, and you can use another block or a pillow underneath your head. Now, I do apologize. I know when I lay back, I'm probably going to start coughing. So, just disregard me. I swear, it's the first time I've gotten COVID this whole pandemic, and it is not fun, my friends. So put that block right in between your shoulder blades, and then your other block, again, can come underneath the head, or you can get rid of the block underneath your head if you just really want to open the throat and the heart. Now, take a second to get all your fidgets out, to really find yourself on the center of that block right in between your shoulder blades. And then you can have your hands on either side of you, palms facing up to receive, palms facing down to ground. Your legs can be any way that feels good. You can keep them bent. You can let them go long. You could even bring your feet bottoms together to touch, opening the knees, coming to a Supta Baddha Konasana if you want to just get right on into the hip openers here. Wherever you are, just take your time to kind of settle into your space, settle into your body. Start to bring yourself to this present moment, to the right here, the right now. And just focus on your breath. Not changing anything about your breath, just noticing how you feel. And noticing it as it goes in and out. Using your breath as a tool to bring you to the present. And as you breathe here, just doing a little check-in. A little check-in of the mind, the body, the soul. A little body scan, a little inventory. And I really want you to ask yourself that question: how do I feel? How do I feel in this moment? How do I feel about this past year? How do I feel about this year ending? How do I feel about 2024? Just take some time to breathe and really tap into your feelings. Maybe try to give those feelings a name, identify the emotion, identify the causes or perhaps triggers of those emotions. And we're practicing non-judgment, non-attachment. We can acknowledge that we're human and we feel weird things sometimes. Excuse me, and that's just how it is. I definitely feel very weird. I feel tired. I feel sick. This is the first time I've done yoga in probably 3 weeks. But at the same time, I feel grateful. I feel, I would say I feel happy. I'm ending this year on a high note despite the fact that I'm sick. Feel excited for 2024, a little scared, but and just try to really name these feelings. Be aware of these feelings, because the more you ignore them, the more you push them down, the more you try to pretend they're not there, that's where those unhealthy coping mechanisms start to come in. And that's not what we want, friends. We want to feel to heal so we can release these things and not bring anything that does not serve us into the new year. You can continue to deepen and lengthen your inhales and exhales here. With every inhale, filling up the chest, filling up the belly, taking up space. And every exhale, a gentle release, and maybe feeling those shoulder blades open up more over that block. We'll spend just a few more deep breaths here in this supported fish pose. And gently, when you're ready, we're going to start to make our way out. If your knees are open, you can go ahead and gently bring them to close. Now we're just going to very easily roll off of our block or our blocks just to one side for a moment. You can use that bottom arm as a pillow if you'd like, but we're just scooching those blocks out from underneath us so we can roll back to our backs. I'm just getting those blocks out of the way. And from there, you can extend the legs long on the mat, extend the arms up overhead. So really just taking up space here, really reaching the arms, reaching the legs, this full body morning stretch. Maybe flexing and pointing the toes, maybe rolling out the wrists, just really reaching, lengthening the body. Now, Cancer is ruled by the moon, so we're going to take some crescent moon poses here. So you're going to maybe gently scoot your hips over to the left, and then your arms and your legs are going to come over to the right. So you're forming this crescent moon shape on your mat, or a little banana shape here on your mat. Now you can maybe cross this left ankle over the right if that feels good. You can grab a hold of the left wrist. Really open up that left side body in this crescent pose. Creating expansion, breathing into the space between that left hip and the left rib cage. Taking a nice big inhale here, exhale, returning to center and switching out your sides. So maybe scooching those hips now over to the right and the arms and the legs come over to the left. Perhaps crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, perhaps grabbing a hold of that right wrist. And just breathing into that right side body. Taking a nice big inhale here, exhale, releasing back to center. You can release those arms down to your sides. Now legs are staying extended. We're going to start to get into these hips here. So I'm going to keep my left leg extended and I'm going to bend my right knee in so my foot bottom is coming to the mat, my right knee is bent. Option to stay right here. Option if you'd like to open this right knee out to the side, so opening that hip. Option to stay here. Option to draw that right knee into the chest. You can grab a hold either with your hand or a strap, the back of the thigh, or perhaps the shin. And final option, you can stay right here, or if you'd like, you can reach for the bottom of this right foot and find a half happy baby. Wherever you are, we're breathing into that right hip. Getting right on into these hips, into this pelvis. I like to think of the pelvic bowl as an actual bowl filled with water. Again, our sacral chakra is the chakra of water, and that's where it is. And as we start to open our hips and we start to move that bowl around, that water or the emotions that we have stored there, that is the water, start to spill out. So if you notice as we open these hips that things start to come up, feel, cry, scream, do what you got to do. Take a nice big inhale here. Exhale, you can release that foot or that leg if you're holding on, but keeping it pulled in. We're going to bring our arms out to a T position. Breathe here on the inhale, and on the exhale, drag that right knee over to the left, taking a supine twist here. You can maybe gaze over your right shoulder. You can keep that left leg bent or straight, or you can bend it. We're taking this supine twist. Breathing into this twist. On the next inhale, you can return to center. Exhale, extend that right leg long, and we're going to take it to the other side. So that right leg now is long, bending into the left knee now, bringing that foot bottom to the mat. Now you can stay here. You can open that left knee out to the side. You can stay here. You can pull that left knee into the chest, grab a hold. Or last option, reach for the bottom of that left foot and find this half happy baby on the left. We're breathing here. Opening up that left hip. And gently releasing that left leg. If you got a hold of it, keeping it pulled in, bringing the arms out to a T position. Inhaling center. Exhale, draw that left knee over to the right, finding that supine twist on the left, and be gazing over that left shoulder. And just breathing into this release. On the next inhale, you can gently return to center. Exhale, go ahead and release. Now we're going to do a double hip opener here. Options here. You're going to bend the knees in, bring the feet bottoms down to the mat. You can bring those heels up to the butt. You can bring those feet bottoms together and open up the knees for Supta Baddha Konasana. You can place blocks underneath the knees if you want some of that extra support, not so you don't strain your knees too much. This is option 1. Option 2, you can draw this up into the chest. So drawing both knees into the chest. You can keep the feet touching if you'd like, or you can open them. You can grab either with a strap or your hands on the back of the thighs or on the shin. The last step, if you'd like to take it, is reaching for those feet and finding your happy baby. All options are valid. Anything that feels good for you and your body, go ahead and go there. We're going to spend a few breaths here wherever you are. Now, if you're in your happy baby, you can rock from side to side. You can straighten one leg, straighten the other. And just remember, it's called a happy baby, not a sad baby. Happy is an emotion too, right? Maybe allow yourself to smile here. And just find your breath. Breathing into this sacral chakra. Finding that release in your hips. And when you're ready to release, you can do so gently, releasing your legs or your feet if you have a hold of them. You can bring those feet bottoms back down to the mat with the knees bent, and you can maybe windshield wiper the legs for a moment if you'd like. And then when you're ready, we're just going to roll our way over to our stomach. So you can take your time, you can go either direction, just roly-polying ourselves on over to our stomachs. And we're going to start to get into the heart space now, since we just spent some time getting into the hips. So first things first, we're going to start with a low cobra. So we're on our stomachs, and we're going to bring our hands underneath our shoulders, squeezing those elbows into our sides, pressing palms into the mat. On the inhale, we're just going to lift the head, the chest, the shoulders. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. 3 more here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Last one here. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Now you can bring those forearms out in front of you. So pressing the forearms and palms into the mat. The forearms are parallel to each other. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders, and your shoulders are pressed down and away from your ears. Chin is lifted. This is our Sphinx pose. We're going to breathe here. And if you'd like a little bit more in your cervical spine or your neck, you can just maybe shake the head from side to side. Get a little bit into that cervical spine. Now you can gently come to stillness. Now, option is stay here in your Sphinx pose, or option if you'd like a little more, we're going to press into the hands and straighten the arms. Now, we're going to start to walk the hands back, if you'd like, if this feels good, to a high cobra. So I'm taking my hands one step at a time, walking them back, slowly moving with intention until my hands are directly underneath my shoulders. My pelvis, my hips are pressed into the mat. My shoulders are pressed down and away from my ears. Chin and chest are lifted. It's our high cobra. I'm breathing here. And taking a really big inhale here, exhale, we're going to press back into a child's pose. So widening those knees as wide as the mat, sinking the hips back to the heels, extending the arms out, lowering the chest and the head down to the mat, finding your child's pose. I'm not going to take a child's pose because I will not be able to breathe. But I want you to sink into your child's pose. Really finding the ground beneath you, tapping into that grounding energy. When we have these very heavy full moons, it's important to stay grounded. and Mercury retrograde, So maybe feel the mat beneath your fingertips. Perhaps lift up all 10 fingers and then release them one at a time back down to the mat. Give the mat a squeeze. Feel every part of you that is touching the mat. Your hands, your wrists, your forearms, your elbows. Perhaps your head, perhaps your chest, perhaps your belly. Perhaps your knees, perhaps your shins, perhaps the tops of your feet. And now that we've grounded, I want you to ask yourself again, how do I feel? Are there any feelings coming up? Anything old, anything new? Just continue to ask yourself that in this child's pose, finding your breath and checking in. We'll breathe here for a moment. Take a few more really deep breaths here. So really big inhale in through the nose, filling up chest, filling up belly, taking up space. Open mouth, exhale, release it. Excuse me. Two more just like that. Really big inhale in through the nose, filling up chest, filling up belly, taking up space. Open mouth, exhale, release. Last one just like that. Really big inhale in, filling up chest, filling up belly. Fill up a little bit more. And open mouth, exhale, release it. You can allow your breath to return to normal. When you're ready, inhale, rising out of your child's pose to your tabletop. And you can take a seat on your knees or on your butt as I tell you what we're going to do next. So we are going to get into some lunges. We're going to get into the hips and continue to get into the heart. So I am going to grab a hold of my blocks. Now I do apologize. Anytime I take really deep breaths, I start to cough. So, just COVID things. So we're setting ourselves up to stand on our knees. Now, if you need extra support under the knees, please feel free to put a pillow or a blanket under there. You can double up on your yoga mat. I'm going to grab a hold of my blocks. And we're going to start with the right foot, just stepping the right foot out, bending into the knee, coming to this low lunge on the right side. And this is where my blocks come in. I'm going to place my hands on either side of that left foot, hands on the blocks, keeping that chin and chest lifted. Pressing this left hip flexor down, making sure this right knee isn't going past the ankle. Now you can stay here on your blocks, or you can rise up to that thigh, or you can inhale the arms up overhead if you'd like, or you can bring your hands to the hips. This is a variation I rather enjoy, bringing my hands to the hips, really lifting the chin. And the more you kind of squeeze your shoulders and your elbows behind you, the more you're going to open up that heart. This is just an option. Breathing here. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, you can release those hands back to the blocks or to the mat. Walk those hands back and straighten that front leg, coming into a half splits here. So I'm flexing my right toes back towards my face, keeping my chin and chest lifted. Breathing here. On the next inhale, you can come back into that low lunge, so bending into the knee again, hands coming to either side of that right foot. And then again, you can keep the hands on the blocks. You can bring the hands to the thighs, or Inhale those arms up overhead so we can do a little heart opening here. Again, just an option, but if you'd like to join me, inhaling those arms up overhead, really reaching. And on the exhale, bending into the elbows, goal posting the arms, really opening up the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, goal post the arms, open the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, heart opener. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, hands can come down to the blocks. Now we're going to find our way to a pigeon pose from this lunge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk this right foot over to the left so my shin can drop down to the mat. My left leg is staying extended behind me, setting up for my pigeon. Now, I do recommend you take a moment to inhale, lift the chin, open the heart just a bit before you exhale and fold over that front leg. Well, we're coming on down into our pigeon pose now. You can place a pillow or a block underneath this right hip if you find it's lifted. We're going to breathe into this pigeon. Now, pigeon is one of those poses that gets memed a lot in the pose that kind of makes you cry. It is a pretty intense hip sacral release. And so do what you got to do here in your pigeon. You want to cry, you want to scream, you want to laugh. Anything that feels right as we breathe here. Now, when you're ready to release from this pigeon, we're gently going to come back to our hands either on blocks or on the mat, pressing into the palms, tucking those back toes, and then just pressing that right leg back to where we started a seat on our knees. Now we have to do the whole other side, my friend. So I'm coming up to stand on my knees, stepping out this left foot, bending into the left knee, coming into my lunge. Really pressing that right hip flexor down, making sure this left knee isn't going past the ankle. My hands are on either side of that left foot, either on blocks or on the mat. Chin and chest are lifted. And again, option if you'd like to raise to your thigh, inhale the arms up, or perhaps bring the hands to the hips. Squeeze those elbows and shoulders behind you maybe. Lift the chin, whatever feels good. Breathing into this lunge. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, release those hands back to the blocks or to the mat. Walk them back, straighten that front leg. Finding your half splits. Flexing those left toes back towards your face. Chin and chest stay lifted. I don't know if you can tell, but my whole body is shaking. Hooray, just COVID things. I worked out for the first time yesterday after 2 weeks, and I was like, oh my God. And 0 out of 10, would not recommend. On the next inhale, coming back to your lunge. Again, hands can be on those blocks, or you can lift to the thigh, or you can lift your arms all the way up if you want that heart opening variation, little heart opening flow. We inhale, really reach the arms up. Exhale, goal post the arms, really open the heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, open. Inhale, reach. And exhale, open. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release those hands down to the mat, to the blocks. We're going to find our way to our pigeon on the left. So I'm pressing my palms into my blocks or into the mat. I'm scooting this left foot all the way over to the right so I can drop my shin down. Again, I'm just taking a moment to maybe find this heart opener on the inhale before I exhale, fold into my pigeon. Excuse me. And this is where we will breathe, my friends. In my case, I will be mouth breathing. I do apologize. Just allowing this release to happen in your pigeon pose. And remember, there's nothing wrong if you don't feel anything. A lot of the times when I post about, the hips and pigeon pose being like a heavy release, people will be like, well, is there something wrong with me because I don't feel anything? No, it's different for everybody. We all hold our feelings and our trauma in different places. The hips, the sacral chakra is just usually where that happens, but don't worry, friends. We're all humans just having our own human experiences. So breathe here in your pigeon. Tap into those feels. On the next inhale, excuse me. On your next inhale, gently coming on up. Again, you can bring those hands to the blocks or to the mat, press into them, tucking those back toes, and just pressing that left leg back. I'm going to get these blocks on out of the way. Grab a sip of water. And then we're going to come on down to our stomachs, my friends. Take your time, moving gently with intention. You can bring your forearms to cross in front of you, either bringing your forehead or your chin to your forearms. And we're just going to cool down a bit here before our Savasana. Excuse me, with our frog pose. So I'm going to keep my left leg extended. I'm going to bend into my right knee. So my right knee is coming out from my right hip. My right foot is coming out from my right knee. And this is my frog pose. You can keep the right knee a little bit lower than the hip if you'd like, but just don't go past that knee. We're going to breathe here into this right hip. You can turn if you'd like to your left cheek to kind of gaze over that right side. Just an option. Just breathing here. Now, option if you'd like, you can straighten this right leg. If I get around my blocks, straighten this right leg straight out. This is just an option. You're going to feel it a little bit more in the hamstring, in the kind of groin area. This is just an option. You can keep the knee bent if you'd like. Either way, we're going to continue to breathe. Now, gently, when you're ready, you can bend that knee again and then release it to straight, and we will take it to the other side. So my right leg is now extended. I'm going to bend into my left knee. Again, knee is coming out from the hip, foot's coming out from the knee. I'm breathing into this frog pose on my left side. Again, option here if you'd like to straighten that left leg out completely, you can. Or you don't have to. Either way, we're going to keep on breathing. And when you're ready, bend into that left knee and go ahead and straighten it back. Now you can just kind of rock your hips from side to side here, shake them out a little bit. And then if you'd like, maybe bend into the knees so the feet bottoms are coming up towards the butt, and then windshield wiper in the legs. Maybe when the feet are over to the right, you kind of let them hang out there for a second, breathing here. And then resume the windshield wipering, and then the next time they're over to the left, same thing, just let them kind of hang out for a second. And then resume the windshield wipering for as long as it feels good. Whenever you're ready to release, those legs can come on down, and we're going to flip back over to our backs. Again, take your time. Move with intention. Find your way to your back. Ooh, that mic just keeps popping off. Is it even Mercury retrograde if all of your technology just does not work properly? All right, once we're on our backs, if there's any final posture that you find that you would like to take here, maybe another happy baby, maybe a little twisty twist, whatever feels good and right for you. I'm just going to bend into my knees and just again windshield wiper my legs. Just feels good in the low back and the hips, Do whatever you got to do to close out your practice. And then when you feel ready, we're going to find our Savasana. Now, I would recommend a Supta Baddha Konasana, excuse me, which is, again, bringing those feet bottoms together, opening the knees. You can place blocks underneath the knees for some extra support if you'd like. This is just getting really deep into those hips. Palms can be up to receive, palms can be facing down to ground, or little option here, you can bring one hand to the chest and one hand to the belly. Little hand to heart, hand to stomach, meditation. Show yourself some love. Just an option. Kind of get tiring to kind of hold your hands there for a while, but it's just an option. You can also even bring both hands to your belly. That's a little bit easier. And if you tuck your hands kind of into your pants, they'll kind of sit there. Just again, showing those nurturing organs some love. But at the end of the day, you do what feels best for you. You can keep the eyes opened or closed. And we're just going to breathe here in this Savasana just for a bit. Take a moment. Excuse me. And I will let you know when it's time to come back, my friends. When you're ready, you can gently bring your awareness back into your space and back into your body. Maybe wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Maybe roll out those wrists, roll out the ankles. If you're in that Supta Baddha Konasana, you can gently bring those knees to close. It's making these movements bigger until you're ready to draw your knees into your chest. Maybe give them a little squeeze. Maybe rock from side to side. And when you're ready, you can drop over to one side, keeping those knees pulled in, using the bottom arm as a pillow. Taking a moment here in our fetal pose. Remembering that our fetal pose symbolizes fresh starts and new beginnings. And when you're ready, you can press yourself up to a seat, any seat that you find comfortable. Moving gently with intention. Those hands can come to either side of you, feeling the mat beneath your fingertips. Inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, push them back down, releasing anything that does not serve you, anything that you want to stay in 2023. Goodbye. Inhale those arms up, scoop up all that energy we just created between your hands, bringing the palms together to touch. Exhale, drawing them to the heart center. The light and love in me honors the light and love in each of you. We bow to our practice. Thank you. I'm so sorry at the end there. I was just like, this mic is going to pop off again. I hope you guys had a wonderful practice. I definitely feel restored. I definitely almost fell asleep in Savasana, but you know what? That's the Cancer full moon vibe, my friends. So I hope you have a wonderful full moon. I would love to know how you're feeling in the comments. I'm pretty much, I've lost my voice. Again, I'm so sorry. Can't control the sickness, but I wanted to make sure I showed up for you guys because truly, I would not be here without you guys. My YouTube family is my favorite. All my followers and everyone who supports what I do, thank you so much. My 2023 would not have been my 2023 without you guys. And I hope to continue to do this for y'all in 2024. I have some really awesome things planned. Again, if you'd like to join me for a 30-day challenge, technically it's 31 days because there's 31 days in January. It's called Magic on the Mats. Again, it's for members only. So just hit that join button. My membership's a really great place if you're looking to learn witchcraft and wellness and have a routine and, do lives with me and do workshops and do this challenge. I really highly recommend it. It's really great. Besides that, I have a ton of witchcraft and wellness offerings. I have guided journals, ebooks, courses, all that jazz. I'm going to reopen tarot readings. I closed them because, again, sick. I'm going to reopen personal readings hopefully soon. And again, nourish your business. If your goal in 2024 is to start a business online, you want to host retreats, you want to put out courses, you want to sell something, you want to just grow your social media, maybe make content, maybe be an influencer. I hate saying that I'm an influencer because it feels weird to me. That's not what I set out to do, but here we are, I think it's so wonderful that we have these platforms where people can do what they love. So if that's something you want to do, apply for Nourish Your Business. I'd be happy to teach you how to do it. I think that's all I got, my friends. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. I hope you stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you in the new year, my lovelies.